Okay, this is an administrative hearing being held on October 23rd, 2025 in the Vermillion County Courthouse. This hearing is being recorded and will be made public via the county's YouTube channel. This hearing is being conducted pursuant to the laws of the state of Indiana as found in Indiana Code 6-1.1-1-1. This hearing being held in the manner of petition number 83-011-25-0-3-00001. The parcel number is 83-09-09-900-001.005-011. The property address is Vermillion Rise Mega Park. The assessment year under appeal is 2025. Does everyone present agree that that is the year under appeal?
Yes.
Looking at the property record card, the current assessed value is land $281,900, improvement value $328,000, for a total of $609,900. My name is Pat Ritchie. I will be conducting this hearing. Every effort will be made to keep this hearing limited to 20 minutes. Each side will be given opportunity to represent or present any comments or evidence in support. Our PTABOA will be allowed to ask questions to each side. A decision may be made today at the hearing or taken under advisement and moved to a work session at a later date. The following persons are here representing the PTABOA. I'm Pat Ritchie, President, Sandra Whitaker, and Brad Ringwald. Will the person representing the petitioner please identify yourself for the record?
Adam Quinlan with Newport Pallet.
And will the persons representing the county please identify yourselves?
Kathy Gould.
H. Gilmore.
Will all persons who are or may be witnesses in this hearing please raise your right hand to be sworn? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give us is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you. So, Adam, if you will, we'll let you go ahead and present your case.
Okay. So,
And if I may, if there is something confidential, if it gets into something you don't want aired to the public, please just let us know so that we can stop the video.
okay.
Thank you.
So our assessment for 2025 is $609,900.
Yes.
The increase in the building is 41%. So what I wanted to share was we originally purchased the building for a significantly smaller amount, $175,000, and that was in
23, it says.
23, yes. So in previous years, the assessment rate went up or was higher than what I purchased it for, and I felt like it was reasonable. I didn't feel like I could come in and complain for what it was, but when we got 41%, I felt like that was a little bit high. So one of the reasons why I feel like it should be lower is if I am charging $36,000 and $36,300 in rent, and so if we used an income approach at 15% cap rate, that says the property is worth $242. If I use a 10% cap, that says it's $360,000. In the previous meeting with Mrs. Gould, she said that those were awfully high cap rates, but I feel like the age of the building and its location, several other attributes, warrants a high cap rate. The building's 84 years old. It was built back during the beginning of World War II. We are on a chemical weapons facility. The building has a lot of leaks in the roof, holes in the wall, and a lot of concrete in very poor shape. And I'm not knocking the building. We use it to make money and all of that, but the condition of the building to pay on that, based on that assessment, I feel like is a little high. Some of the other negatives for the building, every 16 feet, we have a pole, pulling the roof up in all directions. So it's not a free span building. We can't even get 16-foot material in it. There's no phone service, no fiber service, no potable water, there's no heat, and there's no sewer. The only thing we have serving the facility is fire and water.
You said no sewer?
Correct.
I heard the internet, phone, there was something else. You have water?
Water.
We have fire water. And then there is a segment of the property, about 3.5 acres. Just by the nature of the elevations of the land, that's not usable. So 3.5 out of 30 acres is not usable at all. Right now, there is a PFAS study being conducted by the military for groundwater contamination. So we are kind of under that cloud. We may have some PFAS contamination. So those are the main reasons why I feel like the assessment should be lowered. I don't know what the assessment should be lowered to, but I feel like it should be between $242,000 and $263,000. A couple of other bits of information that I want to share. Last year in Danville, Illinois, I purchased a warehouse for $1 million, 960,000 square, $960,000 for 64,000 square feet. Building has a new roof, food grade facility. There's no problems with concrete, land, or anything. So if you look at our assessed value for what we have at Newport and compare it to something 20 miles away, we have a whole lot better quality, a whole lot better amenities for not a lot of different money. We are going to close on another warehouse in Danville, similarly priced and similar size, where we have a lot more amenities, not a lot of difference in price.
Did I understand you correctly? You are renting the building?
No, we own the building, but we are charging rent to one of the customers that we are providing services for.
Okay.
So I rent the building and the land to them because we don't know what kind of volume of materials. So they pay me a rent for me to be able to use the facility and reserve it all for them.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
So
that.
they rent the whole building. This 36,000 is for the entire building, not just a portion of it.
Correct. It's to reserve the whole building and all of it, which is about
And that-
38.
Okay.
I don't really have any other bits of information to share unless you have questions.
Do you have any questions?
Well, this is 30 acres. It says it's 30.94 acres. That building doesn't take up all that
Now, you
acreage.
said all of the land is rented out as well.
Oh,
Except
the
3
land-
acres.
The land, the whole property, and the building, I've rented it all to one of my customers. To make sure
okay,
that they
all
have
the
it.
land. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay. So do you have anything else for us?
I do not.
Okay. So, turn this over, Kathy.
Okay, so when we had our meeting, what I said was a extremely high rate, was you were asking for a 20% cap rate. That's what I said was high. I don't disagree too much. I think 15's still a little high. I was coming in more to 12% cap rate, but when I did some of my figuring, I was settling more on a 12 on research I had done. So yes, I do disagree with you with what we talked about, 20 being high, but not so much what you're requesting now, between the 10 and 15, the two one that you actually talked about. So you mentioned that you've got 3.5 acres that's not usable, and currently you are being, you have 5.94 acres is listed as an unusable, undeveloped property, so you are actually being charged or getting the break for about 2.5 acres more than what you just listed. So that's I do,
How am I not being charged?
Well, you're getting-
by-
you're
by
getting-
some acres?
no, you're getting charged, but you're at the very lowest rate. You're
As
at what we
usable
consi- yeah,
undeveloped.
It's considered a
Okay.
usable undeveloped, which means it probably has some areas that you can't develop that. Land for anything.
Unusable undeveloped.
Undeveloped, yes.
Unusable.
Unusable undeveloped.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's unusable
Yeah,
undeveloped.
so we have, that is being recognized actually a little more than what you just mentioned, but it is still being recognized.
Okay, and
Um,
my number was
yeah.
approximate because I just did it.
Yeah.
Is he
No,
with
that's fine, I
you?
just wanted, yeah.
Circled it.
Yeah,
Is
just
he
wanted-
with you?
I do.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, because he's given us some confidential information,
Okay,
so.
yeah,
We'll be
I
with you
apologize.
soon,
Yeah.
I
okay?
apologize.
The other thing that I wanted to make note on the land is currently the land has 15 acres being listed as what we call a secondary land rate, which is less than the primary, but more than a usable and undeveloped land. I don't think that the secondary is warranted. I would say that that needs to be moved into the usable. It's just ground being held that can be used at some later date, but it's not the primary, which supports the building and the parking around it. So that would change the land from 281.9 to 251.9, just by making that change that I just mentioned,
Taking it out of secondary.
taking it out of secondary and moving that all to, which would be the 13, and that would be 20 acres. That's yeah. So that's one change. Yeah, I did go in and make changes after we had talked with removing a lot of the the things that were being assessed on the building. But like you've mentioned, the sewer, the water, the lines, the walls got a lot of rotten areas in the walls and the leakage in the, so we did go in and do that. I was actually looking, and after I had done with using this other cap rate and everything, is at 573,200 is the number that I had come in with.
You said 573, 200.
Yeah,
For total?
total. So it would be 251.9 for the building, or for the land, and 321.3 for the building. At that point, I don't know so in the Illinois area, I know there's an awful lot of buildings that are being sold at extremely discounted prices for people wanting to just get out of the Illinois Danville area. So I'm a little hesitant to kind of go put a whole lot of weight on what they're selling for, but I do definitely understand the quality of the building is better than maybe what you're looking at over here. Just the sales price, I think there's some different circumstances maybe to look at for the sales that are taking place over there, but.
Sure, and I guess to counter that argument, you could say that the Vermillion Rise has had a spec building that's brand new for 10 years that has not been occupied or rented or purchased in that period of time.
Right.
So, I mean, I get what you're saying. Indiana is a little more desirable place for business compared to Illinois, but geographically for buildings like this, we're on the state line, so I feel like we kind of need to look at Illinois a little bit. Otherwise, we have to go to compare me to Lafayette or Crawfordsville or Mooresville or something like that.
Yeah. I did, and yes, this was a very unique building. I did kind of run this through one of our, I guess I'd call him the expert. He's one of our industrial evaluators.
Who would that be?
He's with Tyler. It's actually Bart Burgess. He doesn't live here, but he works all over we're international, so he does work in a lot of different areas. And he did say for something, once I was going over the building with him, and I said, can you just kind of give me something? He did say that about square foot rate would be about, he said, I'd go somewhere between $6 and $7. He says, probably not worth anything more than that. And this is kind of before, so when I came up with that 573, I was at $7.10, so probably still a little bit high from what Bart has recommended, but that's think if you did like 650 was like 516.
Okay.
I mean, so it's still a little, still on the lower end there on the rate.
And
That goes
I think we had discussed that when Bob Gruey was the executive director for the chemical depot, when we were negotiating the purchase of the facility, he had his own industrial guy come in, and they specialize in old buildings. And Bob asked me, he said, is it okay if the guy comes in and takes a look at your building, and we'll try to come to an evaluation on the price and all that? I said, fine, I'm happy to do it, but you have to share the information with me, what he says. So I escorted him and Bob Gruey around. He went through and looked at everything. We got down to the end, and Bob said, well, what do you think is worth what you're feeling? And he says $1 to $2 a square foot for a building this age and quality. So that was kind of one of the ways that I derived what we were going to pay for the facility.
Yeah, you arrived at that 170.
Right. And I had made the offer to the board previous to him coming in, and Bob Gruey felt that the offer was too low. That's one of the reasons why he wanted independent additional. And I felt like his opinion of $2 a square foot and my offer of 175 were so close that I couldn't complain with that.
So for clarification, in the beginning, you talked 15% cap rate. Was that what you said?
When I originally met with Mrs. Gould, I did not, Kathy,
Kathy's fine.
I'm not a real estate expert. I do understand the cap rate workings and all of that, but the more risk that a building has and the closer it gets to the end of its life, the higher the cap rate goes up, because it's not going to last forever.
Right.
So I do think that I had mentioned to Kathy something about, well, if I used a 20% cap rate, here's where my valuation is, and that's significantly different than.
Yeah.
Since our informal meeting, I've tried to do a little bit more research, and I feel like the cap rate should probably be somewhere between 10 and 15. I personally think it's a little more closer to 15 because it's not going to last forever. All buildings die, they get to the end of their life, and at some point their value goes to zero. So that's why I'm pushing the 15% more so than a smaller number.
Okay, and then Kathy, when you gave a value, the 321.3, was that using a cap rate?
Yes,
And
I was using 12.
You were using 12.
On what? Okay, but that would be
On the 36,300.
But that was, your number also threw land in on top of that. That was just for the.
Right, that was just building.
No, it was the total. It was the
Oh, was it total?
Yeah, that was where the.
Well, the dollar amount I quoted was the building at 321. But for the land
Yeah,
and
no,
building was a 12%
that's just what I was
cap
taking.
rate.
No, that's just when I was taking all of those, addressing all the condition issues and removing the things that were in the building that don't work or not functional.
Okay,
That's where that number came from.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Does the board have any questions for Kathy?
No.
Anything else for
No, thanks.
Adam? Okay, so I'm going to consider anything from you, Paige, or are you good?
Well, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but I have had the luxury of having a small tour. This building, the one for occupancy.
Okay.
Yeah, if you use the 12% cap, that comes in for a total, based on that 36,300 a year is 302,500. That would be the total value.
That's what value?
That would be the total value using a 12% cap based on the 36.
Is 302.5?
Yes, 302,500.
Which kind of lands right in the middle of my range, 242 and 363.
Yeah, as I said, so you did some additional research, and so did I with the cap rate stuff, and you were going from 10 to 15, and my number was coming up kind of in between that from what I.
And that 302.5, that's everything?
Yes.
Building, land, everything?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Using a
just wanna
12%
make
cap
sure.
rate, yes.
Okay.
Using a 12% cap rate based on the annual rent that he supplied as being 36,000.
Okay, thank you. So basically, I'm going to consider that these proceedings are concluded. Case is adjourned until further notice. The evidence presented or requested will be considered and our board will render a decision. No additional evidence will be accepted for consideration since we haven't requested anything during the hearing. You are going to be notified of our determination on Form 115. You do have the right to appeal our decision with the Indiana Board of Tax Review. Okay, that procedure for appeal will be on the Form 115, or Paige or her staff will be glad to help you if you choose that. Basically, we really appreciate your coming, and we will let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.